and welcome to Grounds Patrol, the podcast for Newgrounds creators. I am Will Comer, your host. I don't know why I am Shatner talking like this, but I will try to stop and talk in a normal speaking voice. Thank you to everybody who listened to the previous episode with Lewis. Boy, that was fun. I love Lewis. Got a couple good reviews for that one. Lewis himself actually chimed in as a review and said, "This turned out not bad. Thanks for having me. I found it very intimidating to be on a podcast for the first time." I appreciate that. I respect that. And honestly, I hope that at the end of the day, it was able to be like an atmosphere welcoming enough that you could start being apprehensive and then warm up to it. That's kind of what I don't expect everybody to be like super ready for an interview, but I really hope that I can, make it fun. So I'm glad I made it fun. And thanks again, Lewis. Afro Ninja said, "Okay, maybe I'm losing my mind, but I don't think I've been to Atlanta. Have I?" If that doesn't make sense, we talked at the very beginning about how I met Lewis at an Atlanta Newgrounds meetup, and Afro Ninja was there. Yeah, Afro, you were great. We played bowling. How could you not remember that? It was only like 10 years ago. And Terrorbite said, "Another great episode, guys. Wish that I could join in on this podcast too. Oh well." Well, guess what, Terrorbite? You're here now, in review form. Thanks for coming on the show in review form. Is that how that works? I hope that's how that works. Welcome to another Roundtable episode, everybody. This is an audio one. This is two audio musicians, as opposed to video musicians. But yeah. We got two people from the audio portal, one older, more experienced, and one newer. Older being ForgottenDawn.
This is Claudio. I was Take a Slider 60 10 years ago, and now I'm ForgottenDawn.
Who is an ambient artist who's been a big community player for a very long time and knows everybody, and everybody knows him. Newer person, you might not have heard of him. His name is KawaiSprite.
My name is Isaac. I make music under KawaiSprite.
And if you haven't heard of him, well, you'll hear about him now, but you'll also hear about him if you pay attention to Newgrounds at all, because he's going to start making big waves. Big waves! I'm telling you. He has like 30-something songs out already. It's been like less than a year. It's fun to talk to these two guys and hear their different takes on Newgrounds audio. And we talk about a lot of stuff. Talk music, talk Newgrounds, talk the internet. You know the drill. It's really fun. I'm going to leave you to it. Enjoy. So I actually got a couple of both of you guys' songs as a link, and I figured we'd start by playing a bit of both of them and we want to hear who you are. So
let's go.
KawaiSprite, yeah. I'm going to play a song and tell me what it is and any thoughts you have about it whatsoever. You ready for this?
Yeah, go for it. Oh, yeah, it's a Super Monkey Ball.
Yes! I love this one, man.
This was actually like the first track that I did, which was like crazy, like hardcore electronic EDM, I guess. So there's a lot of stuff going on.
It's so intricate. I see why you said it takes a long time to do this, because there's so many little moving parts to it.
Yeah, well, this one, I did it, and I had a lot of fun with it, and I was like, wow, this is like coming together really, really well. I should keep doing more music like this. And so I kind of like worked on like my style. Like I said, yeah, a lot of work, a lot of sounds.
I picked this first because I think it kind of exemplifies your style a little. I mean, it seems like a lot of the music you make is in this vein. It's very future-based, stuttery, sample-y kind of stuff.
Yeah. It's weird, though. I never actually listened to, what is the term, like future-based music? Like, I kind of like maybe heard like a couple tracks other people did. And I was just like, I don't know. I didn't actually think of that. Like, I use like 808s and like drums but I feel like this is just like me going crazy and like putting whatever sounds I could. By the way, there's a lot of Super Monkey Ball sound effects in there, so it's like
I would hope
you hear the there's like a squeaky plop sound. It's like boing.
And yeah, a lot of the ball moving sounds.
I can't replicate it with my voice, but it's like I don't know. There's a lot of monkey sounds in there.
Yeah. So were there any artists that you felt like you were kind of trying to copy the style of at the beginning, or was this entirely your own thing?
I will say I listened to Igloo Ghost and I was like, wow, this is amazing, without actually realizing I'm kind of like ripping him off a little bit. Mm-hmm. But I was like, it inspired me so much that I was like, I just want to make like bass heavy, fast music. And so I kind of like that was my take on that.
Yeah.
Like I heard the track White Gum from Igloo Ghost, and that just blew my mind with like the high pitched rapping and like just the sounds and it's insane. It's like an absolutely insane track, and I want to make something that's like mind blowing, you know. So that was kind of like my first attack. That is like, yeah, Super Monkey Ball is like the first track that I kind of did that was in that style.
Have you heard of Soda Island? Soda Island is a label that I think produces a lot of stuff like this.
I have not, no.
It's very like, I would call it beachy and tropical, and it's a lot of kind of like mid-tempo, stuttery, housey stuff like this that has a lot of samples of high-pitched people talking and bubbles and water droplets.
Yeah, I like that kind of stuff.
I really dig it. Yeah, I think your style gels with that. You might actually want to reach out to them. You could be a cool addition to them.
You know, that's a good time. You know, that's a good thing. If anybody has any suggestions for labels, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
But
I don't know if Soda Island is a label or if it's just like a collection of songs that are kind of in the same vein, but one
like
way or
a
another,
curator.
you and them, you gel. All right.
Oh, it's still me?
Yeah, I figured we do some of yours
Okay.
and we do some of Forgotten.
Now listen, kids. This is the most girly song.
Did you sing this? Is this your voice?
This is absolutely my voice. Everybody was like, dude, this is such a cool Vocaloid. It's like, no, I'm singing.
Who's this girl that you got to record? Nope.
No, dude, this is me. I pitched it up. I sang it. I pitched it up, and then I messed with like the formant on like Little Altar Boy.
Nice.
And I auto-tuned it. I don't know who was it. Somebody, the couple of crickets, they said, you know, this sounds like PC music. And I was like, you know, it does. Like, and so I was just like, I'm going to make a PC music track and make it absolutely cheesy and like a guilty pleasure song. Like I wanted it to be that. And so,
yeah,
that kind of chorus there is like supposed to be like really, really cheesy. And then this part, I was like, okay, time to actually, you know, put in some...
Time to ramp it up. Get some action going.
Yeah. And yeah, it's
so cute.
It's a lot of layering of sounds and textures. It's really just like layering audio clips on top of each other. But my goodness, I don't know. I kind of, I don't know how I feel about that song just because it got so popular and I'm like, is this really like me?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, but...
Did you feel yourself start to get pigeonholed into that style if you weren't careful?
Well, I was like, you know, I really do enjoy like music like that. So it was kind of just like, well, where do I want my music? Where do I want this path to go? And so I didn't want to like cater to anybody. I just wanted to do what I wanted to do. And so that kind of like felt like I was being inauthentic to myself just because it was like cheesy and cute and kind of dumb. Like the lyrics are really like simple.
Yeah.
But you know, like at the end of the day, when you make something, you got to just like let it go. And, you know, it's not mine anymore. It's like everybody who's listened to it, it's their song, so they can do whatever they want with it, you know?
Kawai, we're going to hit you one more time and then we're going to go to Forgotten. Ready for this? I love this song.
Yes, hit me. Oh, shit.
Sounds a little different.
A little different, yeah.
This is called Wiz.
It's called Wiz, like The Wiz.
Like The Wiz.
Movie.
Not The Wizard of Oz. The Wiz.
So as I said before, like my style kind of changed. Or I was trying to shape my style, and I feel like this is something that I can vibe with a lot more.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of melodic parts, a lot of crazy sounds, and it's really fast.
Again, you're rapping this? This is you doing the rap?
Oh no, this is actually a sample I found, but it's like a royalty free. I do that sometimes, but I do rap sometimes. Like if I can't find something cool, if I just want like a rhythm, like I will like write something, I'll type it out and then I rap it. There's a lot of like different parts and like passages in this that I want to just like sew together, so it's like every single second has like something in it.
I think that's what I like about this music too, is it's so dense that you're not going to get bored. It's music that you can listen to actively. Like I wouldn't just kind of be doing things during the day listening to this. I would want to sit down and listen to this. You know what I mean? Give it the attention.
that's exactly what I kind of want to do. I want to have that feeling where people are like, that track is really short too. I think it's only like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
But I want people to feel like, they're getting their money's worth when they listen to something, and then they can just like replay it again because it's so damn short, which is like a tactic. I think like people are starting to catch on, just like with the age of like streaming and stuff. It's like
yeah,
people
you're
are
talking
making their
about
albums.
less people sitting down for an hour with your CD, and you're talking more. You get their YouTube click nowadays, right? Like you get their audio portal. You have my minute of attention. What are you going to do with it?
Which is kind of sad because I don't like that. Like I enjoy listening to a really long album and like sinking my time and like my emotions into it.
Yeah.
But like everything's changed, like with the internet, like how it does. Everything has to be shorter, or, it has to get your attention. That's not really like something like I am like purposefully did to like for my music. It's just like how I do things. I kind of like realized that, not everybody has all the time in the world, and that's something else.
It's what kind of audience are you playing for? What are they going to do with your music? Because if you create an hour-long CD and people are used to only doing a minute's worth of music a day, then you're not delivering to people what they're actually going to use. But if that's what you want to make, that's the hard part, I guess.
Yeah, it's definitely either way, it's a lot of work. Like I put in more time into those tracks than I do like a song that's like 4 minutes.
And God, you put out so much music. And we're going to talk about that too. Forgotten, it's your turn. I want to play one of yours.
All right.
Still here, buddy?
Hit it. Hit it. My music, I think it's very like ambient influenced.
I would say
I like
so, yeah.
ambient. Yeah, I like ambient music. And what I used to do as KawaiSprite, I guess, could be categorized as that sort of slow, chill, mellow kind of music.
Was there anything going through your head for this song specifically? This seems very... I hear chimes.
Yes, it's it actually reminds me of like 90s games, like Chrono Cross.
Ooh, yeah. And you can picture the intro, like you're seeing the developer of this game flash across the screen as you hear this.
Yeah, I had a very like spacey sort of vision for this track. And I thought, it's very reminiscent for me personally to my very old tracks from like 2010. I used to do like very long and repetitive ambient tracks. They were like minutes and minutes long. They were like stretched over. Because I thought that formula was working for me.
When you make ambient music, do you picture people doing something to it? Is this music you want people to work to or to sleep to? Or is it just different use for different people?
That's a good question because I primarily do ambient music for myself. Because, sometimes it's just very stressful and I often experience anxiety. So I like to, I guess, calm myself down and soothe myself through my own music and use it as an outlet. When I started releasing tracks like this, people started liking it, and you get comments like, "Oh, this really helped me get my stuff together," or I was doing this kind of work, I was editing, I was programming, and I was hearing your music, and it really worked.
That's nice.
So I was like, okay, yeah.
And that song, if anybody's curious, that was called "At the Gates of Time." And here is another one.
That's Rainbow Forest.
Rainbow Forest.
This is from a soundtrack from a game that's been in development for, I would say, years. That I'm not making myself. A friend of mine is. I do soundtracks from time to time. I do commissioned work. It's always an experience for me because it's always different. I was once called a chameleon because
a what? A chameleon?
A chameleon, sorry.
I was about to say,
I said chameleon.
A chameleon.
A chameleon. I injected some of my European, I guess.
But you're called a chameleon because you can blend into different kinds of music. You can sound... you can sound like a lot of different things.
Yeah, I often swing back and forth between different genres because I like anything that's very dense and atmospheric and emotional in some way. So it literally could be any genre, as long as I can feel some connection to it. So it could be like hybrid, like very action-packed cinematic, or just orchestral or ambient or whatever, or just experimental music, I guess. Electronic.
Here's one more.
Okay. Oh, this one.
I think this is gonna change in a second. It's gonna sound like this, right? And then it's gonna change to something else. Okay. And we're gonna hear hopefully a little bit of what you're talking about right now, because I think it's gonna go to something that you haven't heard from you yet today.
Right. Aren't you gonna build the anticipation?
Yeah. I like to wake up to ambient music personally. It's like a nice wake-up alarm. It's slow. I can wake up and I can enjoy it. Some people try to like make a really annoying song their alarm.
That's the... Oh, wait for it.
Woo!
There you go.
Damn.
Rasarama.
Yes.
I was about to say, ambient music, the case for ambient music is interesting to me because it doesn't have to be anything other than what it is. And what I mean by that is, you often hear people talking about ambient music as something they're putting in the background while doing other things, or as a soundtrack that is like functional to something else.
I think the rest of the world knows ambient music as functional. You would call it music to relax to, or you would call it
right.
Falling asleep sounds.
It actually used to be called furniture music at first.
Furniture music?
Okay. Yes, back in the 70s. That was like the OG concept for ambient music. Then, the rest is history. Brian Eno and whatnot. Which is, by the way, a huge influence on my music.
Awesome.
But, I can just listen to it as if I was listening, any other kind of music. And it's not just because I've grown used to it, or my ears, I guess, have grown used to it. But I just don't necessarily see it as a functional kind of music, I guess. Sure, it's something to relax to, it's something to maybe multitask to. In fact, I often publish on my own YouTube channel a series of ambiances.
I was going to ask you about those, because you put a lot of stuff on YouTube, and it's all like hour-long blocks of music. And you do that on Newgrounds, too. You put a lot of albums, not as many songs. Like, I had to find little shorter songs to play just now, because I think if I had tried to get Voltron to play a whole album, it would have waited a very long time to do that. But a lot of your stuff on Newgrounds is like 50 minutes.
Yeah. I upload... In fact, I'm actually going to return to the single sort of format. I also decided... I guess it's been like 2 years since I decided to upload like full albums, because I did the same on YouTube. And I know it's probably a different medium between YouTube and Newgrounds, but I think... platform, I guess. But I just thought, why not? It's free.
Yeah.
And I do this thing for fun. I actually kind of distinguish between my own soundtrack albums and my own personal albums. Personal albums are just my own, just personal ravings and exploration of sound in any direction I want. So it's something that to me feels very freeing and just kind of unhinged in a way, in a positive way for me.
This goes into what we were talking about with KawaiSprite too. It's like, how do you feel about somebody who, like yourself, posts 50-minute blocks of music in a world where it seems like a lot of people are just kind of going to the minute-long songs, listening for a couple seconds and moving on?
I don't really worry about that because I don't have like a label, I guess, oriented mentality where I feel like I definitely have to fit a certain audience or audience expectations. So I don't feel that pressure.
At the end of the day, like the people who want to listen to you, if you have a fan base, like they will listen to you.
Yeah.
It's just like pushing your product out into the world and like getting new listeners. I feel like that's like the fear that I had. But if people want to hear you, they will.
You're saying like you don't have to tailor yourself to what you think people want. If you put your own stuff out that you believe in, people are going to pick it up and they're going to feel your excitement for it. And they're going to be fans of you and what you're doing. Like
I've been a victim of like making things that's like, for other people. And it's just like, wait a minute, that's not how this should work. That's not how like any art should work, really. It should just be like what you feel and, whatever comes from like, being in the moment. That's like really what matters, I feel like. Yeah. Now to that, are you guys aiming to make a living with your music? Is this a goal-oriented thing for you guys?
No. I'm just gonna say it flat out.
Please, yeah.
I still consider it like a house hobby.
A hobby.
To be honest with you,
Yeah.
a professional hobby, I guess. I know
What do
it's
you
contradicting.
do? What do you do during the day?
I'm a student. I'm a grad student. I'm studying animation, but I also come from a graphic design background.
Nice.
So it's, I just walk all these parallel lives, I guess.
I honestly think it's a good thing to know that you have a hobby in this day and age where all of your hobbies are kind of, there's a pressure to monetize them all.
Yeah, music is just that one thing for me that I'd like to protect at all costs from like any sort of strictly monetary, I guess, purpose. I just feel very protective of it, to be honest with you. Mm-hmm. Because I just want to feel, just completely free.
You're saying, like, if you have an audience, then your audience is going to want something. Even if they're a very nice audience, even if they're subscribed to exactly what you do, they still had an idea of what you do and they signed up for that reason. And it can make it hard to shift to something else. You've seen it where, like, a band will make an album that's different from the rest, and their fans who have been super into them, now they're like, well, I don't know, it doesn't sound like them. Doesn't sound like what I like.
As soon as you do anything, really, you're going to be criticized.
Yeah.
So to me, it's just not a matter of even criticism. Because, if you do the same crap for like years or decades, then you're going to be just piled on. And people just saying, oh, he's been doing the same crap.
On the topic of like bands releasing the same like album over and over again, I feel like I could absolutely not do that just because I would get so bored. Like I always have to like add something new or improve in some way or else like the music will never get done. So
yeah, I can actually agree with that. I actually organize my own personal albums in whole series, which sounds...
Wait, really? That's awesome.
Yeah, it sounds a little crazy, but...
How do you do that? I want to hear about this.
Yeah, basically it's something I've come up with ever since a couple of years ago. Mm-hmm. Because I just have all these different ideas for series. And I just want to be able to express them somehow. And so you get like an album series that's very, very textural and ambient and mellow. And then you get another series that's like very just crazy and distorted and, just very action-packed, I guess. I think it's very interesting. And it's something I've always admired from artists like, Aphex Twin, Buckethead. Mm-hmm. Because to me, they feel like, they're just free of doing whatever they want. And I love that. Even if they're, like, in the industry. But, like, they just don't care.
Their fans are like, anything you do, I will be there for it. I will support it because it's going to be weird and it's going to be you no matter what. Yes,
and actually, I've actually been told by a fan who's also, a friend, that they subscribe to me not because of how pretty my thumbnail is or my logo or my header or if I tag videos correctly or if I title them. It's not because of all the window dressing, but it's because, it's always unpredictable. Like they would never guess what's coming next, and I love that.
Nice. Those are true fans. Keep them around.
Yeah, absolutely. They're keepers.
KawaiSprite, what about you? We've talked to Forgotten for a while, but back to the question before is, do you feel like music is your goal? Is that going to be how you want to make a living, or is it a hobby?
I don't want to sound like all cheesy and stuff, but that's absolutely like my dream. Like that's all I'm asking for is just like I just want to like live off of this. Like I don't want to do anything else with my life. I'm not good at anything else. Like the only things that I'm good at are like making crazy ass music. Like that's all I want to do. And I don't know like how I'm gonna get that, but it's a work in progress. And like I don't like talking to people like in public about it because they're like, well, what are you gonna do? Like where are you going? Like and at the end of the day, a lot of people
ask that because they want you to say something they can make fun of. Or be like,
well, I guess so.
Oh, have you considered making money? Have you considered in 10 years you're going to need a house?
I don't want to be unhappy doing something that's like generic and like I'm not about that. Like as a person, like I want to constantly be doing things that are creative and like I could never see myself be like a dentist or like no way.
Dentist, you're wrong.
You know what, dentist? I don't even like you. I went to the dentist the other day. He said you need to floss more, and I was like,
How dare he?
you know what? My teeth are beautiful.
The
You
nerve.
need to chill out. The nerve. I'm KawaiSprite. Does he even know who I am?
Do you even know who I am?
I'm perfect in every shape and form.
I'm not bleeding gums.
Meanwhile, your teeth are just shooting blood.
My teeth are just like neon yellow
Falling out.
at this point.
Nice.
But-
Well, at least your friends could see you at night.
Yeah. It's really helpful. But anyways, making music, I feel like, it's not too much to ask for just to be like, I want to release an album. I want to have like physical copies of like my albums. It'd be awesome.
Yeah. Do you want to perform live? Do you want to do DJ sets and stuff too?
As far as like performing live, I have no idea how I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
Like with this music, because it's just like, how am I going to do that? I mean, maybe like a DJ set, or
I think
if
it's
I do
mostly
like,
DJing.
yeah, like if I did like a Daft Punk kind of thing, like where they had the giant pyramid. I mean, that's a lot of money.
Sure.
But, like if I had like a projector in the back, it's just showing like Newgrounds animations while the music was playing. That'd be pretty sweet.
Have you heard of a band called Kero Kero Bonito?
Oh yeah.
You like those guys?
Definitely.
I would think you would know them because that is another band who I would say is like your music a little bit.
Yeah, I like them.
Dudes in the background making the beats sort of live, and then they have things they play. They have samplers and keyboards, and then the woman is in front, the woman who raps and sings and is kind of the front man for the band. That's kind of a way to make that music happen live, I think, because you'd have to find somebody else to help.
Maybe if I started adding more like elements that are like more me, like if I started singing like in my normal voice, like not chipmunked, like if I made like something like that, I could do it live and it wouldn't be as weird. But if it's just like the music, it's kind of just like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah. With what you have now, I think it's like a DJ set. You're going to go up and you're going to play a selection of your own music, or you would find someone to do vocals alongside you. Or like you're saying, if you had songs where you sung by yourself, like yourself, then it would be more like, I'm a musician, here's me playing the music for you right now.
Yeah, I would have
that's a bigger
to focus.
question. How do electronic artists, what's the best way to do a live show?
I think that to do that, a lot of artists do have like a visual element to their live performances just because, they're not really like doing much when it's like something in that format where it's just like all electronic. I could imagine there's like some visual effects. Like the Travis Scott show apparently is insane. I mean, obviously it has like a ton of money like poured into it, but like that's just another thing is like another thing that I thought of is like as rock and roll is like shifting, it's not the most popular form of music hip hop is.
Right.
And so there's that kind of aspect where people are moving towards, what can we do with a concert rather than, it's not all about like seeing the band and performing, which I also love. Like I also love seeing like a band perform live, but like, it's times are changing and formats changing. I don't know. I'm
curious about this for both of you guys. How much time during the day and during the week do you make music?
Sadly, not too long.
That sucks.
I would like to spend more time making what I love.
I could spend like 5 hours to like 15 hours on a song, depending on what it is. The song Butterflies took me 20 hours to do.
That's a big song. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on in there.
Yeah. I was actually like trying to like make it like humongous and whatnot, but I don't like keep track of like the hours really, like, because when I'm in the zone, I'm really going at it. Like I just lose track of time. It's like, oh, it's already 10 p.m. I gotta like wind down.
Yeah.
When I'm like just so hyped up, it's crazy.
It's interesting because I could actually say some things about ambient music. Most people probably think, oh, it's just one key. You just press it for like...
You just press 1 key on the pad and you just let it play forever. Yeah.
Yeah. It's electronic music. I mean, it's literally just pushing a button and makes music. It's all computery stuff. But no, really. I mean, you could easily spend like a whole day just tweaking, fine-tuning your own synths. It's so immersive to me. I don't know. I think I would probably spend less time if I already knew what to expect from what I'm doing at the moment.
You're saying if you sat down, you're just like, okay, I have a song in mind. It's going to be this long. It's going to have these many instruments, and it's going to sound like this. You would probably make it pretty quickly. But you get so in the zone, you're trying to like find the right patch. You're trying to modulate a sound just the right way.
Yeah.
You get in the zone I would do that too. I would just like, I'm not going to spend 5 hours making music. I'm going to spend 1 hour making music and 4 hours just listening to weird sounds in my headphones.
Yeah, pretty much.
Whenever I make a song, like I don't think about like, how it's going to sound. The immediate like the instance where I think, okay, I'm gonna make a song like this, it just never turns out. Like I have to open up, FL Studio or like Ableton Live, and I have to just be like, I just have to put stuff in. Once I immediately think like, oh, I should do this song, like I should do it like this, I just get caught up. Like it ends up being like by chance that I make something like crazy or something that I really vibe with. Because I've had projects that are just like I start and then I'm like, I spend like an hour or something. I'm just like, I don't like this. I'm not going to finish it. If I don't like it, I'll never finish it. That kind of sucks. But like, I can't just like work and work. Like the more I push, the worse the product gets. So it just has to happen.
I get what you're saying, but at the same time, KawaiSprite, you make so much freaking music. It blows my mind. You joined at the end of April, right? I saw you joined like April 29th of this year.
I think it's been like 5 months.
It's been 5 months. You have 36 songs out.
Oh, well.
You have 36 songs in 5 months.
So like, I don't really do anything else with my time. Like I work and I make money, but I also like just focus on music primarily.
What do you do for work?
I work at a sandwich shop.
Fair enough. Hey, we're all in this together. Doesn't matter.
I gotta pay those bills, dog.
Hell yeah.
But like, I primarily work on music, and I actually just get like depressed if I just can't like make music. Like I constantly have to push something out.
Yeah.
Even if it's just like, whatever, like just if it's not cohesive, which I feel like that might scare some people, because they hear one song and then they hear like, I don't know, one of my synthwave tracks and they're just like, well, this is different,
I've listened to those too. I think your synthwave music is different, but it's also not that different. I could see them living together on the same label.
That's good, because
it has a KawaiSprite sound to it still, I can tell you.
I'm glad that I have like that kind of, what is it, like a technique that people can hear. You
have a style. Like I know I saw your news post where you were like, hey, I'm starting to release some different music. Sorry if it's a little weird, it's a little out there, but try to stay on board. It's going to be fun. And I was listening to the music. I was like, this is fun, and I can tell it's a different song, but it's still in the same wheelhouse. You're still kind of flexing the same muscles here a little bit.
Yeah, there's a lot of music. Before all this crazy, like, hyper fast music, like, I had music where I'm actually singing and, like, using my voice, and it's, like, actually, like, indie rock or, like, lo-fi pop. And I was kind of, like, hesitant to share it with Newgrounds just because, I don't know, in my mind, I was like, people like this music, but what are they going to do if, like, I post this song where I'm, like, singing and there's like guitar in it, or I don't know. It was just like self-doubt for a sec, but then it's just like, wait, this is Newgrounds. Like, people are gonna like it. Like, if they like me, I feel like people are gonna like it. Yeah.
Where does Newgrounds fit into both of your online presence? Is Newgrounds your primary place where you put music, or would you consider it on par with YouTube or in SoundCloud? Or is YouTube and SoundCloud the main place, and then Newgrounds is kind of like an also? It's just kind of, I'll also put it there. Forgotten, you're a long-time user. Forgotten, you've been here for a long time, so I would imagine that Newgrounds is a big thing for you.
Yeah, I would say about 10 years. It's been my main platform, I would say, for a very long time. And now it's because I decided to invest more time into, just doing the networking and invest more time in my production value, I guess, on my YouTube channel. It's not that I put it on the side, necessarily, because I definitely don't. But I can tell myself that priorities have shifted a little bit.
Yeah.
So while it's definitely an and for me, it's like YouTube and Newgrounds and Bandcamp.
I will say that as like a new person joining Newgrounds, like I'm super new, and as a like an emerging artist, like somebody who's trying to get their foot in the door, I feel like Newgrounds is severely underrated and nobody talks about it. Because when I tried to upload things to SoundCloud, YouTube, anywhere, like I would get absolutely no response from like anybody. Like, SoundCloud really annoys me because you get likes and it's just from like porn bots. Well, not porn bots, but it's like they're not people. And it's just like, what the hell is this? Like, I don't want to see this shit. But like when I upload to like Newgrounds, it's just like, there's people. It's like, whoa, there's people. Like, this is crazy. People actually listen to my music. And like I was saying, like, when I first started uploading, I made a Newgrounds just out of the blue, and I started posting my stuff. They're just like throwaway tracks, I guess. But like I uploaded them, and I would see results and it was just crazy. It was just like, I've never seen this on like any other website. And maybe it's just like how the algorithm on like Newgrounds works, where, new stuff gets pushed to the top and, people look at it. Like, that's really good for somebody who's trying to share their music with people. And I feel like that's not talked about enough. Like,
I mean, real talk, I would never have heard of your music if you hadn't put it on Newgrounds.
Yeah, dude,
SoundCloud and Reddit and Twitter and YouTube, we're talking about massive world-sized walls of music. You're not going to see any individual thing in there. So I'm so glad. Newgrounds is such a good small pond,
The problem is that, they're massive networks, but they're also very crowded.
Yeah.
So obviously they don't have a space for everyone. That's it. You're just going to create your own sort of niche.
I mean, I feel the same way even about the podcast we're doing right now. Grounds Patrol is a Newgrounds podcast, which means naturally it has a home on Newgrounds. But even if it didn't, I would put it on Newgrounds first just because, full front, I was not a big podcaster before any of this. I'm still not, but you know what I mean? I'm able to get a following and a community together because Newgrounds right now is one of my big platforms where I'm focusing on. And the community that's in Newgrounds, they kind of exist in the sub-layer of the internet, kind of below the surface level of Reddit and YouTube. I find a lot of value there. It's an amazing group of people to be able to find and be able to bounce ideas off of. And maybe when you finally do, I hate to say go into the bigger world of the rest of it, but if you were to do that, you'd have the experience from Newgrounds backing you up.
Yeah.
It's always something I've found interesting to observe is that Newgrounds has such an amazing number of like undiscovered artists and talents. They're like deeply buried in in the sea of algorithms and contents, as well as YouTube. It's just like I've been amazed this year to just kind of discover all these circles of listeners and fans that are also content creators, that are also kind of sort of resharers of their own content, and they do it for free. You get these small pockets of audience that are largely into a certain kind of music.
I will say the community on Newgrounds, I've immediately I feel like it's the website that I've been missing for like forever. Like, I wish I had joined 5 years ago. Like, cause I feel like I've just been missing out this whole time. Like, everybody on Newgrounds for the most part has treated me really nicely and I'm meeting new people and it's really awesome. I just feel so grateful. Like, I put a lot of work, but that work is, getting heard by people, and it's just great.
You're putting in a lot of good work. I mean, it's easy to see your page, Kawai, and be like, oh, this kid's on his grind. Like, this is going to happen. Yeah.
That's great, because I don't even think of it that way either. Like, I don't feel like I'm a workaholic, but like, it just happens by chance. Like I said, I have to, whenever I feel it, I feel it and it happens. But I guess I do. I really want to put in like a lot of work. I even started posting some artwork too, just to see if I could get better at it.
I saw that. It's that kind of like the spray art.
Yeah, like airbrush kind of art, I guess. I was trying to I don't know, do some artwork, I guess, but
it blends really nicely with your music, I think.
I guess so. I mean, it looks cool, but I'm not the best at it. I feel like I could improve a lot.
Yeah.
But music is my main thing.
It's fun. I feel like a lot of musicians who I've seen make art, the art reminds me of the music, and it's not because they're making it in the same series or anything. It's because you're seeing the same creative spirit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's always coming from them.
It's always coming from the same person, the same brain, the same influences and things they like.
Yeah, actually, I always kind of struggled to find my own encompassing, I would say, aesthetic. ForgottenDawn as a project has gone through so many visual changes over the years. At the beginning, I didn't even have a logo for it, for instance. It was just a bunch of binary code that meant probably nothing.
I like your logo. Is your logo like a sun peeking over a mountain or something?
Thank you, yeah. I view it as a floating island, but yeah, a mountain is totally fine.
Or, a floating island with a sun kind of peeking over it. It's very one color. It's great.
Yeah, it's actually what I kind of imagine for ForgottenDawn, because I view it as a place, as its own sort of world. And I think it ties into the idea of my album series as well, because I view its series as a separate world.
Do you see the music a little bit as a way to transport you to this world too? It's
Yeah, kind of. I actually have plans for maybe making in the far future anyway, some sort of interactive experience.
Yeah, like what? Like what? Tell us.
You would say a walking simulator, I guess.
Oh, those are fun. Okay.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, just take a stroll around my world, I suppose.
I think walking simulators are the ambient music of games, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I say music as a hobby, but actually I guess my dream job would be to be like a full-time indie game developer.
Nice.
Because I see video games as an art's crossroads. There's like everything. It's grown so complex as a medium that I feel that you could do literally anything in a game these days. It's not just with the right tool, as long as you have vision, of course. But there's like everything in a video game, right? There's like music, there's level design, there's map design, there's, I don't know, textures, there's creative writing, I guess. There's everything.
It's one of the most multimedia pieces of art that we have nowadays.
Exactly.
Every kind of artist gets put in it.
To me, it's like a no-brainer, because it allows me to see the connecting thread between all these different mediums.
KawaiSprite, if you were going to have a game made based on your music, what kind of game would it be?
Probably like a rhythm game, like maybe like Parappa the Rappa, or I don't know.
Good first choice.
I'm a big fan of the Katamari games. Like I love the music in that.
Oh yes.
But like maybe just like a platformer would be fine. Like I don't want my music to be like the main focus of it, you know, because my music is very distracting.
It is. Like we were saying, it's an active listen. It's not a passive listen.
Yeah, so if I were to make music, I would actually have it fit the video game and not have it be like the main focus.
Yeah.
But I would like to have my music in like, I don't know if DDR still exists, but
something like that. I'm sure we'll get lots of very nice replies if it does.
It'd be awesome. Like if one of my songs ended up in like a DDR machine in like Japan or something, like I would be like super ecstatic because I love DDR.
You should reach out. You should reach out. Some people on Newgrounds, I think, know how to do like bootleg DDR stuff.
Yeah, I definitely played Stepmania a lot. I actually did it to like lose weight. Like I play DDR. I can play like expert on DDR. Like you can see me jiggle on a freaking dance pad. Like I can go crazy. I get all sweaty and shit. Like people, there was one time I went to like an arcade and I was like drunk at the time, but I was like playing like I think Never Gonna Give You Up on like a DDR machine, and then is like on expert. So people are like, wow, look at him move. And I'm just like freaking a massive like 250 pounds, and I'm just like, and then they were recording me. I'm not that fat anymore, but you know,
great visual though.
Thank you, by the way.
Yeah.
I would like to make music for like a video game though. That's something that I think I want to have on my checklist. Like that'd be cool. I would love it.
All right, guys, you've heard this. Everybody listening to this, you know what's going to happen now. You got to reach out to these people, make the games happen.
Let's do it. Give me your video game.
Yeah, let's open 3 Kickstarters and never accomplish anything.
I'll steal
like
all the
everybody
money.
else, you know? 3 Kickstarters, 4 Patreons, and a coffee.
Give me your money.
Speaking of Patreon and coffee, this is the time. Give us the plugs. Where can we find you guys, both of you guys? Forgotten, we can start with you.
It's very easy. I mean, for the Patreon in particular, I guess patreon.com/ForgottenDawn. Very simple. Straightforward. YouTube, same thing. Newgrounds, same thing.
Love it.
Discord, same thing.
Same thing.
Twitter, whatever.
KawaiSprite, where are we going to find? Do you have a Twitter and all this stuff?
Okay, yes, I have a Twitter. It's the same way you spell my name on Newgrounds. You know, twitter.com/KawaiSprite. You can read how much of an idiot I actually am in real life and how I'm not cool.
Amazing.
Also, I have a Bandcamp. It's not under KawaiSprite, but it's actually drugpop.bandcamp.com. It has all my music, and you know, it would really help if you guys just search me on Spotify. I'm trying to get those streams in, trying to get that dough. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get that money.
Yeah, he's trying to get that cold hard money, cold hard audio cast,
cold hard cents.
Revenue.
Yes.
Dude, I have a feeling if you keep releasing the kind of songs you're releasing, you're going to get that cold, hard audio cache one day.
It'll take me 20 years, but I'll do it. I'll get there.
My God, 20... If you go on for 20 years and release the amount of songs you do today, you have 36 songs in 5 months. 12 times 20 is 240 times 30 is like 7. You'd have thousands of songs. Thousands.
I don't know if I can keep that up. Maybe I'll slow down in the future when I'm losing like testosterone and like skin cells. But you know what?
Is that your plan? You're gonna do low T and you're gonna lose all your skin.
I'm gonna lose all my skin. I'm trying to lose all this weight on my body, but I'm trying to become an alien. I'm trying to become like the perfect musician. Trying to become like a male model.
Well, that sounds like a great way to spend your 30s.
My 30s, yes.
Guys, thank you for joining me. This has been really fun.
Thanks for having me, man.
Yes. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Newgrounds. I love you all.
Anyone else you want to thank? Your parents?
No.
No. Okay.
Just Newgrounds.
Wow.
Sorry, Mom.
A big thank you to those guys for joining me. Thank you to ForgottenDawn. Thank you to KawaiSprite. Thank you guys for listening. And thank you to our groundskeepers, the elite level patrons who help make our podcast run. Tom FULP is standing his ground as the big groundskeeper right now, but there's room for people to stand alongside him. If you want to be a groundskeeper and help keep this podcast running, or be a patron at any different level, you can find our Patreon at patreon.com/groundspatrol. There's a lot of stuff you can get by becoming a patron. We're talking about bonus content, possible future patron-only episodes, and chances to actually hear the episodes recorded live. So get on it if you want. Do you have any thoughts you'd like to share about this episode? Leave a review on Newgrounds, and I might read some of it at the top of the next show. Yay. Take advantage of that. Join our Discord at bit.ly/groundspatrol. You can follow us on Twitter at groundspatrol. You can follow me on Newgrounds on Twitter at willkmr if you feel so inclined. Finally, thank you to Waterflame for the use of his song, Below. The next episode is on October 2nd. Until next time, stay creative. I said that weird.